Gelwicks, and I first started playing rugby at Brigham Young University.
My name is Tom Wanga, and I am the head coach of the BYU Women's Rugby.
Jeff Wilson, currently the director of HERMAN High School Rugby, the founder as well.
I got into rugby my junior year of high school, just here locally at Highland High School.
How did I get into rugby? Well, I was born and raised in Northern Ireland, and rugby is one of the bigger sports there, so I actually started playing rugby as a schoolboy.
I got into rugby probably because I was born in New Zealand, and just growing up in New Zealand, rugby's the religion, the culture. Growing up as a kid playing schoolboy rugby.
And as I took a teaching position at Highland, I ended up coaching the rugby team for 36 years. I was one of the assistant football coaches at Highland and decided what every young man needed was to play rugby. It was also absolutely positively the best preparation for football that a young man could do in the springtime.
Got into the sport when I was in high school, attended Highland High School, and so rugby was obviously big there, and played there for 3 years for Larry Gelwicks, and won 3 national titles as a player, and kind of got hooked and had some great experiences there. And
my brother had some neighborhood boys over watching a World Rugby Cup on TV, and they said, hey, why don't you start a rugby club? And 2002, that's when we started our youth rugby club.
And played throughout school, and then finished high school over there, and actually came to America on an LDS mission to California.
So I was able to go pretty far with rugby. So I played in high school, and then I played at the University of Utah. At the same time, I was playing football. And then after college, I was able to spend some years on the USA national team and played for different clubs. The main club I played for after was the New York Athletic Club. And then I had a chance to play with the Warriors for a little bit.
When I got hired to teach at Herman High, I thought it was a great time to start my own program. So that's what I did, and loved the challenge of that, going from a club to a single school and starting that from scratch and seeing what we could build.
I remember our very first practice. I thought rugby's the greatest game in the world. And I put a couple of posters up in the school. School was very cooperative with it too. And I thought we would be needing police for crowd control. 6 boys showed up.
Fondest memory as a coach, there have been so many, the people, the players, the coaches, but I think an actual event was probably that first national championship where we beat California down at Stanford in 2009.
Oh, I have lots of memories. As a player, playing with my teammates, and the bond and the camaraderie and the network that I've built over the years. It's amazing the friendship that I've made.
It's such a physical and intense type of game, but also when the game is over, there's also that post-game stuff that's part of the rugby culture. Sharing meals with your opponents, shaking hands. I mean, that's been a rugby thing from the beginning, and it's good to see other teams other sports implement that.
It helped when I was playing, there was a varsity team and that was it. And so if you were a young guy, you'd get your head beat in at practice for a couple of years, but there weren't really any younger teams to play. So we've kind of transitioned to, okay, now we have 9-10 teams, then we have 7-8 teams. And then we moved to, now we have a little league.
I mean, you're seeing with the youth stuff, I mean, that was never around for 15 years when I was first involved. There was, there's a lot of guys that I came up with that now their kids are playing, and the explosion and the growth of it is just awesome. There was, I remember being in high school and we had to play men's clubs and colleges because we didn't have any competition.
It has been phenomenal, the growth. And as people understand the sport, they want more of it. So having Major League Rugby, having the Warriors here in our community is absolutely fantastic. It's been fun to see some of my former players now playing professional rugby, both here in the United States and overseas.